Well, good morning, everybody. We are now in the month of June, and it's the month of June, like where we are right now, where I am. The sun is coming in, and the weather is beautiful. And this topic that we're focusing on for the month of June is called Hot Leads, Cool Connections. And the reason why I wanted to touch on this topic is that somewhere out there is a myth where when it comes to entrepreneurs, people take the summer off and business is not to be had. And I want to say this, I question that. And I also know that, some entrepreneurs, they have kids. Sometimes, like, based on where you might be living, the weather is absolutely gorgeous and you want to take some downtime. Same here. But my business continues to go as well as I do take days off. Like for me, even like throughout the year, like Fridays are my downtime. I'm in the gym in the morning and I'm trying to like go to a movie every single Friday. Note, Mission Impossible, 3 hours long. Wouldn't recommend it because if you're a tired entrepreneur, you may end up falling asleep in the theater. But I do take Fridays off, and then summertime, my daughter is going to be out of school. She's not going to be going to summer camp. She's in that in-between stage right now, and she'll be at home. So I do know that I want to like change my schedule up. I want to lighten it a little bit. I can still do the work, but I'm looking for different ways to show up in my business and also have lighter days as well. So I really wanted to share this particular topic for this month of June, which is about having some really great connections, because this is about the fact, like, how can we get into actually, creating those connections on LinkedIn during the summertime. Maybe you're in a condo and you could do it on your balcony or in the solarium, or you can do this in the park. Maybe you want to like get outside of your home and sit in the park, or you might want to do it on your patio. So that's why I really wanted to share with you how it is that you can still easily make those connections on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is an amazing professional platform. I say professional, meaning that people are not stuffy. Not that that's not what professional means, but people on this platform, they're here to do business, and you're not going to get drowned out by multiple dog videos or people showing, who got Botox or what the latest fashion find is, unless fashion is your business. So before I get started, like I just wanted to share, like that was why we're sharing this topic about hot leads and cool connections. And I've also shared some topics or some ways to get started with that. But I'd love to know, I'd love to know, like, what are some of the wins that you have had in LinkedIn, whether it's about this topic or what are some of the wins that you've had with LinkedIn and your business just in general. So I can take 5 minutes for that. Like, who would like to jump in?
I mean, I can offer that this is sort of the exact opposite of what you just asked, but the point is that LinkedIn is giving me an opportunity, but I haven't taken it yet. So I was at the event of Sheila's, and I met the RBC um, sponsors of the event, and sort of told them about what I do, my product. And they all said, okay, reach out to me, find me on LinkedIn. And I haven't. Dee, don't kill me. But I like knowing that I have that tool in my toolbox. Now I just have to actually use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so my question to you, and totally up to you if you'd like to answer. Now, before we hit record, I know you said that LinkedIn is it feels a little bit overwhelming. What would you say is the one thing outside of what I just said? What is the one
It
thing
stopped me.
that is stopping you from diving in?
I don't know. I don't know. I guess okay. I don't okay. I guess I just I'm still not comfortable maybe with the basics, and I just feel, I don't know, maybe it's a combination of the platform and just taking that step with the person, um, and not wanting to feel salesy, you know? I think that's part of it. Maybe it's like, okay, I reach out and then nothing comes of it, and you feel sort of that sting of, like not going anywhere. I don't know. Maybe it's just a combination of things. That makes sense.
No, those are valid points. And so this month, we're starting with the basics. And usually, when we hear about the basics, we hear LinkedIn 101. I like to think of this as like LinkedIn 105. So we're dealing with the
Yay.
basics, but we've got some really great actions. And with regards to feeling salesy, when I hit my slide presentation, it is going to address because I've got some real life examples that hopefully will make you feel a bit more comfortable.
hmm
I appreciate
Then
you
my next
sharing that.
question,
Yeah.
I guess my next question would be, when is it too late? But I think Natalie actually had an example at her event where you reached out to someone way after and it turned out really well. I can't remember the whole example, but it stuck out that like maybe it isn't ever too late. And then you get to a point like, oh, do I look bad because I said I'd follow up, but I didn't? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so I think when that question, like, is it too late? That is a question that we go through, I go through as well, but I don't believe the person on the other end is saying, oh man, Dee,
Mm.
it's too late, or Leah, it's too late. But we are definitely asking ourselves those questions. And there have been so somebody set up a meeting, and we had a meeting on LinkedIn, and I'm going to be sharing a screenshot of like how she jumped into the DMs and set something up with me. And then she sent me that day, she sent me a thank you letter, like thank you, like via email. It was so great to connect. Oh my goodness. At home, it was a little bit, it was a unique kind of day. And I did not have the opportunity to respond back to the email. It was 2 weeks ago. And yesterday, I was like, I mean, it was just riding on me because I find when I'm thinking, are things too late? It haunts me. And then
Mhm,
I'm not
mhm,
feeling good anyway. So, what I decided to do was I just wrote her back and I just said, oh my goodness, I saw this jump into my email and my intentions were to respond back and then I forgot. And then life started to life, right? And then I just responded back with like, I really enjoyed our conversation and I really look forward to following you a bit more. And so I sent that to her yesterday and she responded back, no problem. I totally understand. So I figure like for me, I think to myself, the worst that can happen is that they might not respond, but if they don't respond, maybe life is lifing for them. Or if they don't, they could respond back with, well, thanks a lot. But that is
mhm,
when we're connecting with people with intention, we're connecting with people who get how we are, or they're in the same boat as well. And it's highly unlikely they're going to shoot back with I can't believe you didn't respond back. Um, so what I mean for me, I am working on not wondering what that person is wondering, just like
mhm.
doing the thing. So hopefully that could be a little bit helpful. I'm a work in progress, but that has been helpful for me.
Yeah, that is helpful.
Yeah. Anyone else want to chime in about how their time has been going on LinkedIn and whatever yes, Laura, you're waving your hand.
Well, firstly, I just wanted to say if you saw me chuckling, Leah, at things you were saying, it's like so relatable. Like the mental torture of it for me too, about like, should I text this person back or now it's been 3 days and da da da. Da. And I had someone I had accidentally ghosted and like she sent me a photo, a folder of stuff and I was supposed to share the stuff, blah, blah, blah. And weeks went by and finally I just messaged and I was like, I am so sorry that I ghosted on you. I got so behind that I just gave up on catching up, but I think I'm finally resurfacing. And of course, I just got, oh, I totally get it back. So it's funny how we torture ourselves over human. interaction, eh? But okay, so actually to answer your question, so LinkedIn has been going better than I expected. I was connected, although I have barely used it, I've had an account for years, and it seems like I've just connected to lots of people over the years. Like I connect to them, but I don't do anything with it so that's a good thing that I'm connected to tons of people. And so my newsletter went out to, much better fanfare than I expected. I changed my banner, but I have to fix it. I don't like the design, but at least it's a banner. I didn't have one for 10 years. I know. It's like, yay. And I changed my profile. I kind of used yours, Dee, I think I have more work to do on that too. I have to revisit it all, but it's still just so much better than it was. I had like one line. I'm a business coach who helps women entrepreneurs make better businesses or whatever. And now it's like all, filled out. There's searchable stuff in it, all kinds of good stuff. So I'm feeling really good and positive about LinkedIn. I have to admit. And I was not. I was so resistant to it as a platform before. So yay.
Yay, awesome. And I like one of the words you said in there. I liked many of the words that you said in there, but one of the words that stood out for me was that when you fixed your profile, you said searchable because you went from a
Yes.
one-liner. And if we start adding things to our profile that are words that our target audience is looking for, then when they're using that search bar, we're going to come up. So you have really helped yourself that way. I shared a post last week. In these calls, I always share about the doctor who found me on LinkedIn, but I've never wanted to. I wanted to, but it's like it's kind of a personal post, and then I don't know. She wrote me a wonderful review, but I just decided to share it as a carousel. And I mean, she found me because I had those keywords in my profile. And then it ended up being a contract that lasted about 3.5 months. So that is what adding the right words into your profile is. Before we go to Clarissa, good morning, Natalie. So we're just answering like, how are things on LinkedIn? And you can answer that whether it has to do with what we're working on this month or anything in general. So, who is next, Clarissa or Natalie?
So we both unmuted.
You can go, you can go, it's fine.
Um, yeah, I actually I like updated my banner the other day just to a different color, and then I updated my headline a little bit. And so that was kind of cool. Like I feel like sometimes I just let it sit there, and then all of a sudden I felt like inspired. I'm like, oh, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna update it. And it felt good to actually like refresh it because I feel like we're constantly changing and stuff like that. And what was kind of neat was that when I was up, maybe I don't know because I have premium right now for the LinkedIn, but when I was updating the banner, it showed me an option for me to do a slideshow if I wanted. And I was like, oh my God. So I don't have enough content. I was like, what do I do about a slideshow? Like, would it be pictures? Do they all have to be that kind of narrow, long rectangular look? I've never seen it before. If you happen to stumble like across a
Yeah.
profile that has it, please drop examples because I was like, oh my God. And I was curious, like, can I do video? Like how far can you go with it? So
Yeah.
that's kind of exciting.
Well, I'll answer that quickly. Ooh, I did see a profile. I see them and then I jump off, but I have seen some and I'm going to use it. So you can't do a video, but you can definitely do pictures. And one of the things that I'm looking at doing is like sharing, say, my offers. So for instance, one would say, join me on Wednesdays, LinkedIn Live, strategize your business online, VIP intensive, content lab. So there are different ways. And actually, I do have the name of the person that I will share into the groups. She's somebody that I heard about on a podcast that I listened to called Social Media Examiner, and she was a
Cool.
guest. So I do remember the person, and I will share her profile into the group so
Yeah.
that you will be able to see her slide presentation. Because her name is
Oh,
Tala, don't remember the last name, but I remembered looking at it. It's like, whoa, what's going on there? I mean,
yeah.
I've seen it, but I don't know, like, there's not a lot of people who are using it. So that's
Yeah.
one way.
Oh, that's neat. And then I
Yeah.
think my other example is that from like showing up and posting, I get a lot of DMs now in LinkedIn. So that's something to get used to, right? Because it's like there's DMs on Instagram and then LinkedIn. So it's just remembering to like check everywhere. Because I actually didn't used to log into LinkedIn as often. So I'm grateful for when I get the email notifications, to be honest, because I don't have my notifications on for LinkedIn.
Right. Okay. Well, congratulations on getting the DMs. And I think something that I will share, I shared this as a post a long time ago. I will find it, put it into the group, and it's just about how to manage your DMs, because what can happen is that you can get the DMs where people are actually inquiring, and then the Natalie, buy this. Natalie, buy that. Natalie, would you
Yeah,
like to just schedule into my calendar? I've never
right.
met you before, and I don't know if my stuff is good for you. But the what I will share with you is how to, if you haven't done it already, but I'll share it with everyone as to how it is that you can filter it so that you are seeing the ones that matter most.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool. Thank
Yes, awesome. Thank you for sharing. Clarissa.
So I think there are a few things I wrote down on my notepad here so that I can remember. I think the first one it was having a stronger online presence. I think that was a big one. I never thought LinkedIn would be a good platform for me because my target audience isn't technically there, but the providers who also work with my target audience are millennial moms who are needing relationship therapy, support for fertility issues, pregnancy loss, and postpartum depression or anxiety, right? And then also the couples piece. So Instagram has been one of the main area that I've been focusing on, but I really took the risk and signed up with Dee, and I think that was a really good idea. So I'm noticing that colleagues are noticing me. Um, some other allied have been approaching me through LinkedIn, so that's been really helpful. And I think it pushed me out of my comfort zone to post more on LinkedIn, so that's been really helpful. I'm noticing that different content do differently depending on the platform. So just still in that experimenting phase. It definitely also pushed me out of my therapist circle. I have a lot of therapist network going
Mhm.
on, but even just meeting people from other industries, like even seeing Natalie hosting Embrace, even though I couldn't make it, but it was just really inspiring to see that and seeing how different people market themselves, talk about their offers. That reminds me to talk about my offers
Yeah.
too. I was telling Dee the other day, I was telling you how it was really clear what you're offering. Whereas sometimes when I navigate other people's website, I don't really know what they're offering. They seem really great, but I don't really know what they're offering.
Right.
Right. So it was really helpful. That was a good modeling for me. It's also been a one step to help me get on a couple podcasts, which is a very new thing for me. So I'll be doing that in, I think, yeah, one the end of this month. And then I have to book a date for the other one, but it definitely was part of the process where I was able to contact them because I find that some people are really responsive on Instagram. Some people are better at email. Sometimes some people are really good at responding on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn was a really another good channel to do that. And then lastly, the newsletter was just above and beyond what I expected. I didn't even think anyone would care to read it. I thought it was such a simple concept that I teach every day to people, but I had people DM me about it, people sharing with their friends. And then because writing is a big fear of mine, of a insecurity of mine, because writing in my second language is challenging. So I think pushing me to write on LinkedIn was a really good step for me to think, okay, I can maybe send out newsletter from my other, like just from my like email list. So that I already have, but I never sent out anything.
Yeah.
So anyways, I don't want to take up too much time, but those are some of the things that I've been getting from our time together.
Yeah, congratulations. And I mean, in terms of LinkedIn, you could also seek out the podcast too, but congratulations on landing some opportunities. And I put in a different prompt into ChatGPT the other day. I will look for it, but pretty much it is saying like, you are Dee Boswell-Buck, LinkedIn visibility strategist. Who is it that who can you connect with who can help you to expand your reach? So, who is it that you can connect to on LinkedIn that can help you to expand your reach? Please share with me what their titles would be. And then it responded back with individuals who have workspaces, individuals who have a business community, And that was very helpful. So that night, actually, here's my little 2025 book. And I wrote on that date, like, this is the thing I'm going to do, send out connection requests to those who have a workspace or an
Mm,
entrepreneur community. And I sent out 10 and three people responded back. So 10 and seven people accepted the connection request and three responded back with a note. And the
mm,
note was wanting to learn more or that they were like pleased that we're connected and they look forward to following my journey on LinkedIn. So I also got that. So that's something that can possibly help everybody out in terms of like finding out other communities that are going to help them to spread their word or get on other stages. And yeah, so Leah, for instance, for you, that for, you've got your keychains that help people to connect. One of the things that you can write into chat is those who might be that exact prompt, or also those who are holding entrepreneurial events and what would their titles be. And then you could search for people based on titles. Yeah. So thank you everyone for sharing. Leah, I'm just going to take a look at your note. My slide presentation is very short and it's going to leave some time for conversation. So Leah, my dream is less coming. Oh, my less.
Coming at me.
Yes, say
It,
it. Say it out loud.
it's just, it was just in a reference to your filters,
Oh,
which brings me to a question, like based on what Clarissa is saying, and I look at her profile and I see that we are connected already. And I think in terms of filters, like I find what you do, Clarissa, Natalie, I don't know Laura Jean yet, but so interesting. So how can I don't know, favorite, or how can I make sure I get their posts? Because I'm so interested in what you do, Clarissa, but like it's not coming up for me. Or maybe it is, and I don't know, you know?
yeah. I can answer that right now. I'm just looking at my phone so I can tell you exactly where to go. So for instance, Leah, when you go to Clarissa's profile on LinkedIn,
Mhm.
um,
That's not right.
and then we're going to go to her profile. We're going to view her profile. And when you view her profile, oh darn. Oh yes, here it is. I don't know if I can show it. I will also share this as a screenshot. So here is Clarissa. And then right below her banner, there's a bell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So when you click on that bell, you're going to see all
Mm.
or most relevant. So you can tap on all, and then
Nice.
that means every time she shares content, and a lot of times when she's commenting on somebody else's post, then you are going to have that will come up into your feed. And that's very helpful as well when you start sending out connection requests to individuals, or if you decide to follow somebody first before sending out a connection request. So you follow them and then you are, um, yes, so you can follow them, you can engage, and then they see you engaging, and then you can send them a connection request.
Okay.
Yeah, great question. Okay, so I'm going to go to the presentation. It's very short. Let's see here. Okay, so I am just going to, let's see. Okay, can everyone see my screen, the presentation?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. I am on the wrong slide. Okay, so like I said, this month it is all about hot leads, cool connections. And this is your season to plant relationship seeds that grow into collaborations. So there's a whole theme about planting seeds in the springtime and seeing what happens. And people are usually planting seeds so that they can grow those fruit and vegetables and all those beautiful flowers into the summer. But this is going to plant those seeds so that you are able to continue to grow your business throughout the summer. Or for the other individuals who are not as active in the summer, you are ready to go because you've already connected with them and you're ready to hit go in September. And this is about planting those seeds that grow into collaborations, clients, and referrals. So referrals being that somebody learns what it is that you do, and then they know somebody who needs your brilliance, your expertise, and then they are able to refer you. Now, here is this slide here. I looked for a slide of myself at a networking event, and why I wanted to refer to the slide are like just thinking about some recent conversations that I have been hearing where people are pretty stuck, where it's like, okay, my LinkedIn profile, I've been working on it. My LinkedIn profile, we're in month 3 and I'm working on it. I still need to tweak my headline, even though it's been adjusted 3 times, for instance, or I still need to add this, I still need to do that. Now, when it comes to your LinkedIn profile, by all means, like I'm always tweaking, but when I'm tweaking, I'm also keeping things moving. So I shared a post the other day, and I said in that post, you can tweak until the cows come home on your LinkedIn profile. But if you're not doing anything else, then it's not really benefiting you. So I have here now this person, I don't know who she is, but what I would love for you to do is envision yourself at a networking event. This person here, usually has big curly hair at events and the bright shiny polish and things like that. But I put an emoji on her face so that you can put yourself here. So you don't have to wear the same red blazer, but put yourself inside this, in front of this floral wall, and just imagine you are at a networking event. So I have here that your profile, it's the equivalent of it's the equivalent to how you are showing up at a networking event. But just imagine this. You go to this networking event, and like on LinkedIn, by the way, your profile is decked out, brand colors, has all the right words, has you being searchable. Mind you, if people are searching for what it is that you do, then it really works. But people, that's how you're showing up on LinkedIn. So now you are branded out, you are at this networking event, and here's my question. But if you chose not to introduce yourself at this event, if you chose not to join any conversations and remain completely silent, how would that improve your business? So you look great on online, you look great on paper, you come to a networking event and you completely stay to yourself. And then you go home and you're like, nothing happened. Well, that was pointless. But really, it's about, when we go to a networking event, it's a two-way conversation, multiple types of conversations that you can have. And I mean, I am an introvert, but what I do is I find the person who is standing by themselves. Leah, like you and I, we met at an event a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago. And we were sitting down together. I knew people, but at that time, still being the introvert, I was like, ugh, I have to start a new conversation. And there she is. And then we started talking. So there's many opportunities to introduce yourself. There's many opportunities for us to make those conversations. And then when that happens, we learn more about that person, and that person remembers us, and vice versa. I think about many entrepreneurs that I meet at networking events who I've actually ended up purchasing their service, buying their products. Some of these individuals are in the group, but that wouldn't have happened. That wouldn't have happened if the initial conversations weren't made. So on LinkedIn, it's the same. You can have the great profile, but the magic happens when we're engaging. So the engaging could start as little as you liking a comment that somebody made on somebody else's post. So you don't even have to comment yet, but you're just scrolling through and you are liking comments. And I found that when I'm liking comments, and I'm liking comments, by the way, of the ones that really resonate with me or they made me laugh, I find that when I'm liking those comments, sometimes some of those individuals are now looking at my profile. They're also following my profile. So they're not connecting, but they're following. And I'm like, great, like that target audience is who I really would love to get in front of. And now they are now following me. Or sometimes I'm going through those comments and I'm not quite sure what to say to the main person who posts. But those comments, they're pretty engaging, and I find that I am responding to those comments. And then it's just as though you're at a networking event and it's just that you're engaging with everybody who is in that group. So starting with just liking the comments, even having conversations with or making comments to other comments, those would be the way that you would actually engage as well. And then the next part is actually like connecting with those who are going to be your target audience and your target collaborators and your target referrals. Because this way you're able to build that network of people who are actually interested in connecting with you. And when you're building that network, because they were interested in connecting with you, they're most likely, like 90%, going to be very interested in what it is that you have to post as well. It's going to be memorable. And that's how you are building that network of like ideal clients and collaborators because they might need you, or when they're engaging, their connections are also seeing that they've engaged with your content as well. Now, these are different. This is where we are right now in the group. This month, we're talking about building those connections. So these are just like the actual steps that we're working on in the group. And when you click through, there will be like more steps to it. So for instance, your prompt, if you're wondering like, okay, I want to start getting into LinkedIn right now, or I have been engaging, but I think I need a bit of a refresh as to who it is I should be connecting with. You can put into ChatGPT, I offer this service. I want to connect with more potential, these types of individuals on LinkedIn, and then ask who's it I should be searching for, and please suggest three types of people. So I like to keep it simple, keeping it at three. And then when you go back into the group, you'll see that some of the members in the group, they were like, wow, this is gold. This is who has been coming up for me. So I found this to be very helpful. And then, earlier I spoke about, wanting to like reach more. So I just changed the prompt up a little bit and then ChatGPT shared more to me. And then in step two, in another post in the group, it's like start searching for these three types of people. So I did share a connection tracker. It was just a simple spreadsheet where you can put in you can put in who it is that you are now following, for instance. You can put in their URL so that you can just click through and just see how it is that they are engaging on LinkedIn. Just to go back to when we are searching for these people and if we are going to be sending out connection requests, remember that if you don't have LinkedIn Premium, LinkedIn will cap you. So take a look for the fact that you are looking for people who are pretty active on the platform. Active being that they're sharing a post, or their active could be that they are very engaged in other individuals' posts. So then that way, when you send a connection request, they're going to be on the platform and they're going to receive it. So in that step two, start searching for these three types of individuals, and then you can use that connection tracker that I shared. And then that was step two. Step three, Sending direct messages that spark possibility. So we've identified these dream clients. Now it's about sending these direct messages. And good news, I have examples because I know that I'm telling everybody, just send a direct message. Just say thanks for sending me a connection request. And you know what? It could be that it's like, Dee, you're saying that, but I don't even know if that's really what you do. I've got actual examples. So let me go to the next slide. And here we go. So here are some DMs that spark conversation. Now, I didn't attend. There was an event that happened. It was called Next Level Live, and I wasn't able to attend it. And I saw that somebody on LinkedIn posted that they attended this event, which I really wanted to attend, but I had gone to another event. And I was like, oh, okay, this person could look, it kind of looks like the kind of person I would love to have in my network. And then when I went to her LinkedIn profile, I saw she was already following me. And I was like, ooh, okay, she's following me. She didn't send me a connection request. So what I did was I sent her a connection request at 9:39 p.m. And I just said, hi, person. I just saw your post across my feed about Sheila's event, Your Next Level Live. And I said, she's my business coach. And I also have the pleasure of managing her social media. I really enjoyed the recap of your day. This person had a beautiful recap of the day. And I said, I look forward to connecting. So my brain always says, assume the sale, assume the connection. So I always say, I look forward to connecting, like it's going to happen. Sometimes it doesn't happen, and sometimes and often it does. So she did respond back, and it was a really nice message. So not only did she accept my request to connect, she even responded back with a DM. So there's an example there of a very non-salesy, but the right person for my network. Then at the bottom, I met somebody at an open house for a real estate open house, and the real estate agent, she was so wonderful. And she was introducing me and she said, this is Dee, Queen of LinkedIn. I was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. And then every time she would mention that Dee specializes in LinkedIn, what would happen is that somebody would be walking by or the person we're speaking to would say LinkedIn. So I always have analogies in my social media content and also in my head. So the way I put it is that if you're watching a cartoon and maybe the Roadrunner coyote, and the coyote sees the Roadrunner, and then he's screeching to a halt, but you hear the car screeching, even though it's his feet and the smoke. I have that, or maybe a record playing, and you take the kind of you take the needle off the record. So I have those noises in my head, and then but people are actually saying, LinkedIn, I'd love to learn more. So this person gave me her business card in March. Notice that this is May 31st. I pocketed it away. And March, I went to a cottage. Life was lifing. And then I was going through the business cards and I was like, oh no, this person, she was so interested. And it's May. Take that out of your thought. It's okay. And I sent her a connection request. Actually, let me go back. I did send her a connection request in March, but I wanted to ignite conversation. So in May, I wrote to her, hi, Trisha, how are you? We met briefly at that open house in Pickering. I recall that you wanted to learn more. You wanted to learn more about LinkedIn. I have a replay to a free 1 hour workshop that I had in April. It was about easy LinkedIn tips, and I'm happy to email the link with you, and then we can chat later about, connecting offline. So I would love to have her email address. I sent that to her. She responded with, oh, I would really love that. So she gave me her email address. She's now on my email list. And now, I send out a newsletter in through email marketing, and it lands in everyone's inbox on Mondays. And now I have another opportunity to land in front of Trisha. This person here in the middle, it's purple because this conversation happened on Instagram. So this person, I met her at an event in Hamilton. And let's see, let me make sure. No, no, no. I met her at an event here in Toronto. And she said she wanted to learn more. So what I did was I find that I feel more at ease when I leave a voice note. So I leave voice notes on Instagram, I leave voice notes on LinkedIn, and it makes me feel better because I feel in and I feel that it feels less salesy for me. So what I did was I left a voice note for that person and I said, I'd look forward to having a conversation. And you know what? In that voice note, I have a link to a free LinkedIn workshop that I have. It's a free recording, and you'll get to hear everybody's question who attended the event. Would you like to have it? And then what I did was I just shared what it is. Like I copied and pasted from a previous post about it, and I shared it. And then she responded back, I'd love to have it. So I sent her the link after she sent me her email, and now I have her email. So this is where I'm able to nurture her. And then, and you could see here, like I'm totally, if I'm not leaving a voice note, I like to write the way I speak. So this person here, let's see here, let me jog my memory. I would love to share the events with you. Right. So this is a person in the middle here in purple. We have conversations on Instagram, and she saw in my stories that I went to an event by an organization called Paro, and she said, "Oh, I would love to know when like other events are happening. Maybe you can share them with me." And I said, "Oh, I would love to do that." And I put, "Arg, I wish I knew." And because the last event was free. And then I had asked her if here it is. I have a link to a free online LinkedIn workshop that I had in April. And then how are you doing? Are you going to be traveling over the summer? Because I know her, but she's not on my email list. And she's also a really somebody who would be really great for Content Lab, or she knows others. So she sent me her email, and yesterday I sent her the link and I saw that she wanted to have access. So now I have that person. And then, so these are me reaching out. But this last one here happened on April 25th, where Natasha Golinsky, she sent me a connection request on LinkedIn and I accepted. And then let's see, she sent it with a DM. Hi, Denise. Great to connect with you as another female agency owner. And I said, Happy Friday. Thanks for the connection request. This is great. And then she said, I'd love to hear more about the work that you do. So she sent me a connection request. Are you open to a virtual coffee? Let me know. I can send you a calendar link. So to me, this did not sound salesy at all because I have my salesy boundaries, my salesy like spidey senses, and I felt very good about it. So I said I would love to connect over virtual coffee, and she sent me the link. And I responded back, and we had a virtual coffee, and I learned that she does websites. She learned about what it is that I do. She had some questions about LinkedIn, and I know now that, if I have any clients who are interested in having a website done, she's somebody who I have on my roster as well. So I think that that is all that, yes, that's all that I have. But those are some examples that I have about how to DM somebody in ways that don't sound very salesy. And I sent an email this week. I did send an email this week to everyone for everyone to respond back if they have a question. So Clarissa, one of your questions to me was, how is it that I can send a direct message without sounding salesy? And I had responded back to you via email. I'm going to have some examples for you. So I did put these up together for you and for everyone else. So that's my mini presentation. I'm going to leave it open in case, I need to go backwards, but I'm wondering, does anybody have any questions about building those connections this summer? And there are going to be some additional steps as well, but here are some examples of actual direct messages. And Laura, I saw you put up your hand.
I've got questions. Um, One question I have is, I don't know if you remember, but I had said that I'm looking to connect with an audience of women who, corporate women who've done a 9 to 5 who are thinking of leaving their job and starting their own business, which like I can't figure out any way at all to find those people. So like I get the what you said about, the chat GPT asking for the prompt of what kind of title, but if you can, so they wouldn't fall under a title. If you can think of any signs that people would be giving on LinkedIn that would allow me to, I mean, aside for saying things like posting, I'm thinking of starting a business, or does anyone know a business coach, that kind of stuff. But if there's any miracle of being able to figure that one out.
Yeah, so I think one of the things I can think of, which is a bit of a long shot, but it's a little bit closer, where perhaps it's like doing a search on the word side hustle or whatever other words might match with that. And then if you are location specific, if you work with women in a province or you work with women across the country, across North America, that might be helpful. And in 2020, a lot of women entrepreneurs did choose to leave their job and start their own business. So I'm pretty sure, I know that there is data out there. So you could ask ChatGPT what what types of companies or what kind of roles did these types of women have, or the women who decided to like leave their job? Because there is a lot of data out there. I saw a lot of articles coming up of women who were now at home and they took this as an opportunity to go into coaching and consulting because they said that they could do the thing. Yeah.
Laura Jean, do you mind if I share a connection that I have that may be a good connection for you?
Of course not.
Yeah.
Of
So
course I don't mind.
so I I follow, or I'm part of this momentum group run that's hosted by Tracy Smith, and that's actually where I got to know Dee. She actually, that's like literally everyone in her group. I mean, I guess I started off in private practice. I never was in corporate. I was in corporate, maybe like hospital for 8 months, but that was like my taste of like, I don't want to be part of a hospital. I'm going to do my private practice as a psychologist. But literally everyone in that group is in that category. People who were like, I don't know, part of these big event planning corporation and then they are now doing their own thing, or people who are part of these like ad agency running Google ads and now they're doing their own thing. So literally like everyone in that group is in that category. I mean, I probably want to respect their privacy and not like share every like all their contact with you, but maybe Tracy could be a good person to connect with because she's a great connector. And then perhaps she could have you go in as a like kind of like Dee, like go in for like lead magnet or presentation.
Look,
Um,
that sounds fantastic. And you're sparking ideas in me too. Like I could lurk in places where people are starting businesses. Like if there's a post on starting a business, I can lurk there and see who's there going, that sounds amazing. It's a little bit poaching off of another business coach maybe, but
yeah, I
I'll
mean,
try and keep it ethical, right?
yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't think she's like, she doesn't promote herself as a coach. In fact, like I just call
Yeah.
her my coach, but then she's more like a mentor. She never even like, if you look at her landing page, she doesn't advertise herself as a coach. She's more of like, she does a lot of events. She used to do more copywriting. Um, yeah.
Cool.
So I think
And
I
her
think
name is
even if you were to chat with her, I don't think she would be like she's a very open. I don't know, maybe D,
Yeah.
I feel like D, you know her better than I do. Like I only known her for the last maybe 6 months, but she seems to be a very generous, fun
Yeah. Yeah.
person. So
Yeah, her name is Tracy Smith, and everything that Clarissa said, and she focuses on copywriting. She also copywriting, and she has that mentorship group as well, and where she invites people to speak. So you might be able to, like, if you reach out, maybe you're going to speak about a particular topic that's really going to resonate with the group. And she also does a lot of in-person events. She has one called Oh Yes We Can that's starting in the fall, and she had a female financial health and also a physical health um, like in-person presentation the other day where she had speakers. So, but yeah, like that's a really great way where you're seeing like these individuals who is also engaging, and then you can also see, you could like take a look at those people who are also engaging with that content and then take it forward from there. Yeah. Good
Awesome.
idea.
Yeah, that this is all kind of starting to spark all kinds of ideas. So that's very
Good.
exciting.
Awesome.
I,
Thank you.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just had another idea for an angle, which is more based on like, and maybe Dee can help like well, tell us how to take advantage of the angle, which is like I think of my girlfriend who's a teacher, um, and she's not thinking of leaving teaching, but at the same time, it's always like, oh, long days. What if there is something else I could do, you know? So it's not specific people, but instead of telling people what you do, tell them what the benefit is for them. Like I teach women how to, design their own life, something, 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 right? So, so then it's not like this person might not even think
I think Leah froze there for a moment.
job and and engage. You know what I mean? It's not so much about what you do, but is the benefits you're bringing to people.
Yeah, I think you're giving me so many great ideas. It's like my brain is just so yeah, I could definitely talk about like that side hustle angle. Like, so you've been thinking of starting a side hustle or, managing your side hustle with your full-time job or ready to go from your side, like kind of always suggesting, hey, you could have a business. You hate your job, you could have a business. Sort of that kind of angle. So I think you're yeah, so many ideas. And like the freedom of entrepreneurship, the creativity it allows, like all the things that are fun that, just kind of not, we won't talk about the painful parts in the beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all the fun
It
parts.
could be like, did you know you don't have to have a 9 to 5 job? Did you know you can do more than survive? You can thrive.
Mm.
Let me show you how, kind of thing.
Exactly. Or like, or even sort of create like a thing of like, if you're planning to quit your job, like here's like sort of a transition plan of like, okay, which is actually what I did when I started. But I was a waitress, so it wasn't a lot to give away as a job, but I worked 4 nights a week, then 3, then 2, then I was like, I can do it. I'm going to just do this as my job. So many ideas. Thank you guys. That's why I wanted to be in this lab. It's like just
It
so
is a
inspiring.
laboratory, lots of
It is a
experience.
laboratory. It is.
So before anyone else jumps in, I just want to say fast for you, Laura Jean, because you have such a great history. Like even taking some time and sitting at a table and writing down the individuals that you know and where is it that they worked previously? What were their roles before they became an entrepreneur? Whether you know them or if they've reached out to you, I'm sure you'll get like some really good data right there.
You just made me think like I could even do I have one particular client who was in the financial industry and then she started her own financial strategy business and she's an extreme success story for me. And I'm thinking that makes me think I could target an industry where I could say I help financial employees start their own financial business and
Right.
then just let them know, hey, I'm having an info session, send it out to a bunch of financial employee women
Right.
or any. I could do teachers. I help teachers start a side hustle, bang that out to teachers. And
Yeah.
then I have a special teacher info over the summer. Okay,
Ooh.
I'm freaking out. Yeah, teachers over the summer, plan your side hustle. Oh my God, you
Okay.
guys.
All right. Thanks
Yeah,
so
Laura
much.
Jean, I was also gonna say,
Yeah.
even for therapists, there's a lot of people work for nonprofit agencies, hospitals, or just like agencies in general that they're so overworked, so burnt out, seeing, I don't know, like 40 cases a week, whereas I see 10 and I make more than them, right? So even just helping them understand that you can take that leap of faith. And I guess I don't really know exactly what your offer is, but let's say if it's sometimes it's about more like um, helping them with their money mindset. Sometimes it's about helping them figure out marketing, how to market themselves as they go, or how to move away from perfectionistic mindset. I don't know. Again, happy to chat with you more too. So I even was just chatting with a bunch of people yesterday, and they're all trying to get out of their part-time hospital job. So there's like benefits that hold them down, hold them like
Yes.
a minute, right? So those are some of the pain points.
It's
Golden
the golden
handcuffs.
handcuffs
Yeah,
that
exactly.
keep
So
you in your
those are
job,
yeah,
right?
that could be something, right? Like specifically like how do you transition from hospitals to private practice as a
Right.
Yeah,
therapist?
Okay. So I just want, does
amazing.
anybody else have anything that they'd like to add or have a question that they want to jump in with?
I just have a quick question on LinkedIn groups.
Hmm. What would you like to ask?
I guess I've seen some event hosts create like a group after their event or during. So then I was like, oh, do I do that? Like one event for Liat's revival, she did like a Facebook group. So I don't really use Facebook anymore, but I noticed a lot of people are on LinkedIn, including like the sponsors. So then I was like, should I do that?
I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
So when you create your LinkedIn group, you can make it that it's invisible to everybody on LinkedIn. So our group can't be found, though somebody did find it from another country, but I didn't let him in. I don't know how that happened, but you can have it so that um, it's it's accessible to only those in the group. And then you can just let everyone in, and it's a great way where they can network. Maybe you might want to set some rules up or not, but also it's a great way where you can take that group and then you can engage with them and also engage with them about like further embrace events as well. I highly recommend it. A lot of people are finding Facebook to be a little noisy.
Mm.
And like the words I have heard is I don't go on Facebook as much anymore.
Yeah,
Or
I don't.
or when individuals found out that I was doing this group on LinkedIn, they actually emailed me and thanked me for not having it on Facebook. So that's like I was at your event last week, Natalie, and I know that on the stage a couple of people did mention about LinkedIn. So you're going to be right where they're at anyway.
And then do I just create the link and then give it to people to join, or do I have to like individually invite them?
Yeah, so on what you can do is, yes, you do have to create the group
Uh-huh.
and then you would send them the invite to join and
Okay.
then they can join and then you could just as like what we do, we just share some prompts where people can comment and yeah, so it's pretty much a rinse and repeat, but they would need to have a link to join.
Okay, so I just give them the link and like the email and then they can join, I
Yeah,
guess.
you can send them
Okay.
the link via email. And really quick, what I'll say is you'll have to check your settings on LinkedIn so that people on the outside cannot see all of the action that is happening.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because I actually created it and then I saw that people were able to see inside and I deleted that group and then I made a
Oh,
new group. But that was before everything launched. So that was
oh,
a call out.
interesting. Oh, so you had to delete it. And
I
then,
delete like I started setting up the first post and then I saw that people who I was connected to started liking. They weren't in the
oh,
group, but
that's
they were liking it. I'm like, what's going on here?
awesome.
So I deleted it and I restarted it and
Oh,
checked my
okay.
settings.
Cool, cool. Yeah, that's a great tip. Thank you. I'll think about that because I was like, it might be a fun something to try. I just, like I just don't want it to go dead if I'm like not
Yeah.
doing regularly, but it's something I can try and learn.
Yes.
The
Yes.
only way we succeed is if we try, right? And then see
That's
what
the
happens.
plan. That's what
Yeah, okay, cool. Thank you.
yeah. Well, it is 11:02 and thank you everybody. Like I'm just gonna check. Yeah, well, this was really great, and I will be sharing some examples. I will download and upload into the group. And I did have a few people like send me some additional questions, so I'm going to like record a separate video and just pop those up today so I can add to that. But thank you. And yeah, this is the end of it, but I will see you in a week and a half on a Tuesday. Thank you, everybody. Take care.